There's a lot of people that told me their stories. They were telling me how they feel trapped and they're living through me. And I'm giving them hope that one day they might live their true, authentic self. And that's one of the many reasons why I never stopped making the content I make, talking about issues that actually do matter. A lot of Palestinian people follow my TikTok, and one of the girls that messaged me, she said, you have people that support you, so don't stop making your content. You are living our truth. Some of them are married with kids. Basically, I'm being the voice of the voiceless. So I was born and raised in Palestine. My mom is Jordanian and my father is Palestinian, and we are 11 siblings. I come from a small town, I guess a village. It's called Tormosaya, and we are not terrorists. We just want to live in peace, and we want our land back. So there would be a lot of protests going on in Palestine. When we would start protesting, Israel would use their scare tactic, which is they begin with throwing tear gas bombs at us just to scare us away, and we might budge or something like that. And some of us would run back home. Nobody wants to die, you know, for just wanting their rights to be heard and not to be killed for that. And if that doesn't work, Israel starts shooting at kids. We're kids. It was a very scary experience. I grew up Muslim. Islam was the religion. Islam, just like any other religion, being gay is not acceptable. I felt so bad for questioning some of the things that were in the Quran or some of the things in the Hadith. But I always had those feelings when I saw like a girl, and I was little and I was just confused. I didn't understand what they meant. But I always associated them with disgusting, it's dirty, it's the devil's work. The devil is playing with your mind. Those unnatural thoughts are from him. So there was this Lebanese singer. Her name is Alisa. I would get so excited when I would hear her singing. I would always draw her. Even cartoon crushes, like girls. I never focused on the boys. I always focused on the girls. Like Jessica Rabbit. Obviously, I have a type. When I would be by myself, I would think about why I had those thoughts. And I would remember, oh, a lesbian is a girl who likes girls. Nope, that's not good. Islam doesn't accept it. Okay, move on. That's it. And I got so confused. I'm just like, okay, they're telling me that I should have God in my heart and I should pray to him more. So I started doing all that. I would just sob and pray to God, like, if you're against all this, why did you create me like this? Why don't you accept me for who I am? I'm like, this just feels so right, but why is it so wrong at the same time? So my friend calls me and we talk for an hour or two. And then she tells me, I have a question. I don't know why my heart started beating so fast. It's almost as if I was expecting her to ask me. And I told her, okay, what is the question? She's like, are you gay? Like, just casually. And I was like, no, what are you talking about? I tell her, that's disgusting. What are you talking about? That's girls liking each other, that's nasty. She's telling me, who are you kidding? She's like, just come out already. Just say you are. I'm like, no, I'm not. She's like, okay, I'm gonna wait. I got so frustrated with her. I'm like, okay, I'm gay. What are you gonna do about it? And I was in shock. I held the phone like this. I was scared to hear what she was gonna say. She was like, okay, cool. She's like, I knew that. I knew that for the longest, but I would suggest one thing. Don't come out here. Don't come out in Palestine. Arranged marriages in our culture is very common. Usually it's a suitor that comes in, he heard about the family, that they have a daughter, and he's interested in asking for her hand in marriage. My mom eventually wanted me to get married because I think deep down she knew I was gay. Because I started asking questions. So I'm like, let me test her and see how she would react if I asked her, how would you react if one of my brothers came out and told you they were gay? She's like, I would disown them. What do you mean? I don't think you would, because they're boys. Shame doesn't come with boys. Shame is associated usually with girls. If a girl does even one mistake, the world doesn't forget about it. In our culture, she's like, I wouldn't even talk to them. I'm like, okay. I just wanted to ask. I just wanted to see how you would react, because that's disgusting anyway. I wanted to find some Middle Eastern guy who was Muslim and from a good family, so I can just marry him and make mostly my mom happy, just so she doesn't have to be disappointed or look at me as, I don't know, a disgrace. In the back of my mind, I'm like, I need to please my parents. I need to please my mom. I can't get her upset. They care a lot about what people think and what people say. And I didn't also want to be seen as a disappointment. That's how I've seen myself growing up. And that's how my parents made me feel like no matter what I did, I was such a disappointment. I think what makes us defend our parents and want to be there for them regardless of whatever they put us through is wanting their acceptance and love. They can bury us alive and take us out as a punishment. We would still want to please them some way, somehow, and we would do it desperately. I know I was trying to make my mom so proud, so desperately. I felt like I couldn't do anything, and I didn't have control of anything in my life. Feeling that I was trapped and I was never gonna live to be true to myself just broke me. I believe I just gave up. Self-harming, it was a sense of relief because I at least have something to control. The form of self-harm that I inflicted on myself was through cutting, burning myself as well. And it's just so hard to talk about it. The sense of relief that I felt when I self-harmed, it was euphoric. Even just one small cut or just a burn here or there, just like everything was calm. Everything around me was calm. I can breathe again. The euphoric feeling that you get afterwards, it's like you're alive again. That's how it feels like, as if it was a drug. It made me feel good on the inside, but I was damaging myself on the outside. And I had so much self-loathing that I didn't care how it looked. And the same with my eating disorder. It was the same way with anorexia and bulimia. My friends, they would be like, I'm so full, I can't control myself eating. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, I can do that. I can control myself. I couldn't even keep water in my body because I was fearful that it had calories. I would think about it, I'm like, but why am I doing this? And then I started reading more, and it's all mental. You must be going through something that you're resorting to self-harm or an eating disorder or alcohol or drugs, because we're all battling something. We all deal with something that we don't want to deal with, or we want to deal with it, but we don't know the right resources or the right way to deal with it. So we self-inflict. Hurting myself was just an escape from reality. There's always going to be obstacles in the way, no matter what they may be, but you have to face them. One of my favorite writers, Virginia Woolf, she has a quote, "You cannot find peace by avoiding life." And my own interpretation of that is, if you want to live in your own peace, you gotta face whatever reality is that you're trying to escape from, because only then you'll be at peace with yourself. It is painful to live in a box all the time. At some point, you have to let the light through. You have to let it in, so you can just be free. That's how I got here. It took a lot of strength. It took a lot of acceptance. That part of me where I wanted to just get rid of, I didn't want to get rid of anymore. No one is gonna love you in this world as much as you're gonna love yourself. I don't miss that euphoric feeling, because I don't need it. No one needs it. It takes a lot to win against any type of addiction, but it is worth it when you recover from it, when you become the best version of yourself. That's euphoric. That's the definition of euphoria. I do believe my younger self is happier. She's smiling more. She can be finally at peace, and she can move on. She can look at me and see that, hey, we made it. We thought we weren't. We thought that we were just gonna end up, unfortunately, taking our own life or living a life that others created for us. She's happy to know that we made it, and I'm happy, and she's safe and I'm safe. We're dealing with whatever we went through, and we're doing great. It was not easy, I can say that, but it was worth it. It was worth it, and I will do it all over again. I started posting pictures of myself with the hijab and how I am right now, transformation videos. And then I started getting so much love. A lot of the women and some of the men that have contacted me, they told me that you are speaking on behalf of us. The ones that don't have a voice, the ones that can't be themselves. When we see you post about your wife and your life, it makes us hopeful. They would tell me, never ever stop doing it, ever, because if it weren't for you, I wouldn't have left my parents, some of them would say. I wouldn't have left my family to be with the person I love. I wouldn't have done what I have done because you inspired me, and that's amazing, because I never looked at myself that way. I never seen myself as inspirational or motivational. Just to see a couple thousands of people just to tell you that and message you on the daily, it makes me want to keep doing it even more. And along came the hate from people that say, oh, well, in Islam, you are supposed to be killed. You are supposed to be beheaded. And I got so many death threats. People are like, you should get rid of your last name. You're not Palestinian. You're a shame to the Muslim community. I'm like, there's Palestinians fighting for their human rights, and you're here judging me for being gay. You should be proud that I'm Palestinian and I'm gay. You have someone that can represent people. Being openly gay was the best decision I've ever made, and I will do it all over again. I will not have any type of remorse, and I will not feel guilty for it, and I will not apologize for it anymore, because I used to. This is who I am. If I'm gonna deny my sexuality, then I'm gonna deny who I am as a whole. I'm not gonna do that anymore. You have to stick to your true, authentic self. Never apologize for being you. There's always beauty in being different. I like that. Maybe I might get it tattooed on me.